Hey YouTube, my name is Corey Calciano, and I'm actually outside of Philadelphia, and I'm making this video to talk about my experience with domestic violence and a man that I was just with for 8 months. Mentally, he broke me down. Physically, he beat me down. Sexually, it was whatever, and I'm gonna give it to you from the beginning. And this goes for men and women because domestic violence sits at, the first sign of when you feel like it's not right. Take that sign and run with it. Now, with this man, I should have known in the beginning, and I ignored signs like him calling excessively nonstop from different numbers. I had my little sister call him and like, yo, can you leave my sister alone? Now, by that time, we slept with each other once, and I really wasn't interested into like, pursuing anything other than just sex. And he would just continuously call different numbers from his job, apps off of Wi-Fi, block numbers, you name it, he called. My sister called him and said, leave her alone. He called me, all types of whores. I called him a creep, and then I don't even know where it went like from there because he called me a week later, asked me to help him with his mom and the church. And like, I guess like I was like, okay, I think that's really like more so because he brought up the church, and he worked like literally 3 minutes from my house, and that's actually how I initially met him at the job. I tried to get a job with him. He was a quote unquote assistant manager at the time. So I put in an application, and I would go around there and check on my application, and he just would happen to say, oh, I'll get you in here, whatever. So I'll talk to this person. So we grew a friendship, and like, one thing, like I said, we had sex, and like after that, I really like kind of like, swayed myself off. But he made his presence known real well. Like he would just pop up at my house, call me or whatever. So my sister said, to my older brother, do you know this guy? Because he's from where we're from, and I never really seen him before. So my brother typed in his number in Facebook, which I don't have Facebook, and it came back that he was married. So when I approached him about being married, he was like, I swear to God, I'm not married. That Facebook could say anything. Then he said it was his twin brother it was just a whole bunch of lies. But he still made himself, known and coming around, just coming around. So, where my fault was, I accepted him coming around because I live alone, whatever, and like in the beginning, the attention was kind of cute because I felt like, okay, well, maybe, there could be something possibly, maybe. Well, I have a friend, an older gentleman who, like, he helps me out financially or whatever. And, like, once I started noticing that this person that's coming around and everything was trying to push everybody around me. Like he really tried to alienate everybody around me, including my neighbors, my brothers and sisters, whatever. He played the tough Tony act, or he would argue with people if it was a man that I was talking to on the phone. I had to get my number changed. So I felt like I was living a double life because I felt like I had to keep my, friend this right here because I wasn't going to give up my financial security for this man. And he tried and tried and tried. So for 8 months, like after him, quote unquote, being here 30 days, that was the excuse after that. Had I known that he, Mr. I have two houses, three cars, a motorcycle, had I known that like that was just a bunch of shit, like I told him in the beginning, leave, go ahead, go back to your wife. And that was my famous line to him. And he started making it like I was jealous. No, I was begging him, like, go back to your wife. I even text who I thought or who might have not even been her because he gave me the number, like, please, like, come get him. So the response I got was like, you're on your own pretty much. So she's probably out there living her best life right now. I'm getting all the, you know, punches in the face and locked in the closets and water poured on me and my hair pulled and, the verbal abuse if I didn't want to give sex up, like whether I was on my period or not. um I was considered a whore if I didn't give up, give it up. Which he was also 6'1" and 280 pounds. I'm 5'2", weighing 130, plus I'm on dialysis. So there's really, like, I'm really trying to limit what, there's limits to what I can do, but I was trying to limit, like, a lot of the stress by, him, like I broke my arm, as you can see. I'm wearing, but I don't take the medicine, like, unless I really need it, because I just don't like perks or whatever. So, he was taking my perks and he was doing whatever with them. And, like, I mean, he would, like, Brody me for my perks. And for those that don't know what Brody means, like, he would just young ball me, like, take my pills, like, or even money. Kicked my TV, kicked my door in, broke my windows, all types of stuff. Put a gun up to me 2 times, threatened to kill me if I would leave him, threatened to kill my family if I told on them, told on him if I got a PFA. It was just a bunch of stuff that put fear, like, in, like, the thought of getting a PFA. So now, mind you, I've been to the cops. The cops been called from the neighbors hearing the, yelling, the fighting, the tossing around, the TVs falling, and they called the cops. But the cops took it as it, like, being an interracial couple. They dismissed it and dismissed it until last week, which it's just weird because I went to the sergeant, that day because the night before, me and this guy got into it, and I walked in, like, 'cause the bathroom door wasn't all the way shut, and we already were, like, arguing. So, like, he's talking and I'm just like, just leave, get out. So as I go, in the room, I see the bathroom door, like, ajar, like, kind of open, and I see that he has his hand in my purse and the other hand on the bottle. So I grab it naturally, like, what the hell you doing? So before you know it, lo and behold, he just hops on me, like, tackles me onto the bed. And by this time, I'm already planning on moving out and leaving because he keeps on saying, I don't got to go nowhere. 30 days, this is my house. He'll break the windows. He'll bring this person in. He'll have a party, stuff like that. So, I pretty much barricaded myself into this, apartment. So that way, like, nothing, could go down. So if he came, I would have to deal with it. So I went to the sergeant the following day and I explained to him, like, what was going on. And he basically dismissed it. And he gave me the domestic violence sheet and got up and walked away. Now, I'm mad at this point because I feel like, okay, now what's going to take me to die or something, like, before someone to really recognize this shit? All I keep on hearing is this PFA. Now I have a 31-minute video of him even threatening me, saying if I go to the PFA people, he's going to kill my brothers, he's going to wait out here. Like, he's plotting on everybody. Not to mention, I forgot in the process of this 8 months, he's telling me he sees Drop Dead Fred. Now, that's not the dude's name. He sees imaginary person, whatever. So now I'm bugged out. I don't know what to think. He's a schizophrenic. He's bipolar on top of crazy, delusional, whatever. So that kind of played a part in why I was, like, being, precise when I was ready to leave. I didn't want him to know that I was leaving. It was all tactical. I had it all planned out. I told my brother to leave it alone. He texts him, which makes him come towards me. I got into it with him. He punches me in my head. It was like a long week. So that's why we were arguing initially from the beginning when I found them in my bag because of my brother texting them. And he just would not let it live down. Oh, you're retarded, brother. I'm going to body beat him and all that. So my best friend at the time, since like of 20 something years, is like, lock him out, call the cops. And I'm trying to explain to him, like, I can't do none of that. He's breaking in the house. These cops ain't doing nothing. So the cops are more worried about the marijuana smell, but I'm smoking so much weed because I'm stressing. Like, they don't understand this. Like, I'm like trying not to like snap out because I also have bipolar. I also have mental illnesses. Not anymore. I'll tell you that. Not anymore. He cured that. Like, I don't have bipolar. I don't want bipolar. I don't even want that label. I don't want no negativity around me. Like, he humbled me, like, to the T. Now back to the story. The next night, after not seeing him for 24 hours, after he took my pills and did whatever, he left. He didn't, text me. Well, I blocked him, and then when I turned the phone on and he was texting me from this Wi-Fi number. I just want to make sure you're okay. I got this money for you, whatever. That was always his way of trying to get me back. So I didn't answer. So I'm on the phone with my best friend at like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I hear his motorcycle. I'm like, oh shit, he's here. So my friend's like, well, get in the closet. Excuse me. So go hide in the closet. It was like my best friend already knew me because I was already in the closet, like. So I hear him banging, breaking stuff. So I run out of the closet and I'm like, well, what the hell are you doing? So mind you, it's nighttime. I'm ready for bed. I'm wearing jeans, but they're halfway buttoned. And like, because I was actually in the process of taking my clothes off to get in the shower while I was on the phone with my best friend. And I heard the motorcycle. So, my best friend's like, call the cops. I'm like, well, I went there today. They're not going to do nothing. You call the cops. My address is yada, 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 yada. Gave him the address. And he was like, dude, if I hear anything, I'm going to call. I'm like, dude, call. Like, call him. So I'm telling him, like, call him. So I'm whispering, like, yo, call him. So I'm on the phone. I go by the window. What the hell you doing? He's like, I got this money. He got his hand inside the window and his head, like, tilted in. I got this money for you. I know you didn't eat or whatever. I was like, I don't want it. I don't want nothing from you. My best friend was like, what is he doing? I'm like, nothing. He's got his head in the window, whatever. I don't want the money. He's like, why are you acting like that? Why are you acting like that? And I'm like, I don't want nothing from you. Just leave. He was like, I'm not staying. Where's my watch? And I'm like, well, you tell me where your watch is. I'll give it to you. I know I'm coming in there. Who do you have in there? I'm like, I don't have nobody in here. So when he's like, well, why are you halfway undressed? So I'm like, because I'm getting ready for bed. And next thing you know, he just somehow he got in because I had the chairs barricaded up against the door. So like he like kind of like smacked the window like this, knocked the wood out the window, and because the window wasn't locking, because he snapped the latch so it wasn't locked. So when he would leave, he would always have a way to come in. So he got in, and he just went for me. Like, he's just looking, he's flipping shit up and down, he's going in the closet to see who was here. Nobody was here, but I'm on the phone with my best friend. My best friend was like, what is he doing? So I'm trying not to like provoke anything by saying anything or saying the wrong thing. So my best friend was like, should I call the cops? I'm like, yeah, just call them. So he heard the phone, like, him say over the phone, when should I call the cops? Because he was like, call them. I'm like, they're not going to do nothing for me. So he heard that, and then he came out, grabbed the phone. So then him and, my best friend, who happens to be homosexual, started getting into it. So now my best friend's like, don't hurt my friend, just leave. So he's like, you're the mother effer that is telling her to call the cops. And lock me out of my house. So my best friend is naturally saying, that's not your house, like, get out. So, he starts choking me and hanging up the phone. So my best friend's calling back just to make sure I'm okay. Calling back, calling back. He's like, stop answering his phone. She don't get this phone back no more. Whatever. Click. My best friend will call back. So he starts pacing back and forth like he wants to keep talking shit. This is what you caused. This is what you caused. You gonna get it. Somebody's dying tonight. Now he picks up the phone again. He was like, you come see me. I'm gonna, stick a broomstick up your ass and turn you straight. Like saying little dumb stuff, but he's like yelling and stuff. So I'm hoping in my head that, by this time my best friend was smart enough to call the cops. But, at this point he didn't. So, his significant other was like, yeah, just call the cops. It's getting serious. I get like, it's getting serious. So, he grabs this steak knife. And he chokes me like with one hand and puts the steak knife up against my face or whatever, and was like, somebody's gonna die tonight and it's gonna be starting with you. He was like this, but I'm gonna get, that faggot first. Whatever, get on the bike. And I'm like, I'm not going nowhere with you. No, I'm not, no. Like, and I'm not as calm as I am now. Like, so I'm like, I'm not going nowhere with you. So Jason calls back again. I'm like, yo, Jay, he got a knife. He got a knife. So by this time, I can hear my best friend, oh, this is getting out of control. So he calls 911. So he's like, just to let you know, I'm calling 911. So at this point, he told that to him. And he was like, I don't give a fuck. I ain't worried about no cops, whatever, whatever. So then he calls someone on his phone, which I don't know who he called, but that gave me the opportunity to get out of Dodge, because I see my opportunity to run, because he kept choking me, pulling me by my hair, whatever. So I ran. I mean, in the midst of that, he gave me my phone, or I grabbed I don't know, but I seized the opportunity. I ran. So as I'm running, he's like, where are you running to? And I'm like, just running. So the sergeant was in an unmarked car, which I didn't know that they were watching the house the whole time, which God was on my side, which I came home and I broke down to God. I snapped. I'm like, yo, God, let me talk to my mom. Like, I prayed to my mom. Like, yo, mom, you're down here. You let me go through all this. Please watch over me. Cover my, cover me with your blood. Whatever, all that, I like, I even cursed her out. Like, how you gonna let me go through this type of stuff? Like, no, like, so, long story short, I'm running. I dodged under the car lot. There's a car salesman, like like a car shop down the street, and a car dealership. So when I seen the first biggest like opening, I dodged and jumped under that car like drive by. But I heard the bike coming behind me, so I seen it go past. So I hid because he was coming right back. I heard it coming right back up. So as it came right back up, I already ran to a bush. So I hopped in a bush, and I'm on the phone with my best friend. He's on the phone with the cops. Like, yo, this is serious. It's getting out of hand. She already called more than once. Nobody's doing nothing. He had a knife. He's talking about going to get a gun. He's talking about shooting me. He's talking about, it's getting serious. So she's hiding in bushes. She has no shirt on. She's running with no shoes on. Like, she's hiding behind cars. She's hiding in bushes. So I could hear, him say, like, well, wait till you see a cop, then run out as soon as you see a cop. Well, I see a cop. I see it right by. So I'm like, I thought it missed me. But here it parked on the side. And, next thing you know, I run out. By the time I run out, I see the flashlight. I run out. It's to the lady that was the cop that initially came to my house like 2 times before that about the same thing. And she knew that there was something going on, but he already threatened me before I knocked on the door. Like, yo, watch your mouth. Don't say whatever. So he said, if you value your teeth, you would watch your mouth. That was his exact words. So, next thing you know, she's like, well, what's going on? She let me go in there and get a hoodie because I didn't have no shirt on. I had on an undershirt, but it was like cold out. So She's like, well, what's going on? She came in, she seen that I was packing, she seen that the house was was a mess because he was throwing mattresses and stuff. So I explained to him, like, oh, this is what's going on. So she took me down to the station, was like, which is like 5 minutes up the street. She's like, would you like to write a statement? I'm like, you're damn right. Yeah, like, he almost, he said he was going to kill me. And I do know of him having a gun because he stuck the gun up to me 2 times before, and I'm in fear for my life. So, when I got there, she was like, well, I'm going to have the sergeant come talk to you. And next thing you know, the sergeant comes and talks to me, and I tell the story, and he's asking me questions like, what kind of gun was it? Like, just stuff like that. And I explained to him I didn't know what kind of gun it was, but I could tell you what color it was and how, like, what color it looked like, and you know, and I explained to him, like, and he asked me around what time before, what caused him to put the gun up to you before, and I explained to him. So he was like, and I also explained to him that he told me it was his and it was legal, and I asked him to get it out of my house because, like, he stuck the gun up to me twice before, and in case we got into an argument, which he told me he took it out of the house. So, we left it at that. And, like, that was never an issue before, like, after that, until recently. And, sorry. It gets to me because this is where it gets real. So, I'm talking to the sergeant, and, the sergeant's like, the sergeant's like, you really took a chance tonight because, like, we apprehended him. Obviously, you hear him down in the basement, and he's just screaming, I can't breathe, and all that. So I could hear him, and he was like, he's not going to get out because, I can't tell you his charges, prior to whatever, but he has a rap sheet. And I was like, okay. And as we continued the conversation, and he recorded the statement, he was like, so, you know, just to let you know, when we locked him up, we locked him up coming out of your house. See, when I ran, he ran into the house. As he came out, they were going in because they were waiting, watching and waiting. So as he went into the house, he came out. As he was coming out, they apprehended him, arrested him. As they arrested him, he resisted arrest, and as he resisted arrest, the gun fell out of his pocket, and it was fully loaded. And I really do believe that night was going to be my last night. Like, I felt that whole morning was just weird, and it was just like, he got 17 charges, and within them charges, besides the charges he has for me, which is the strangulation and the assault, and, the stealing the prescription of the pills, because he got caught with them. His gun was stolen. His bike was stolen. So he has other charges on top of, like, the charges he given me. And I keep on hearing from people like, I would have did this, or I could have did that. But this whole, which I'm going to court on Tuesday to go make sure that he don't get out. I just want to let everybody know that when you see signs of abuse, get out. Like, you can't save nobody. You could only save yourself. And I'm coming to everybody. Like, you guys don't know me from a can of paint. And I'm coming real. Like, it's about to be bedtime. I'm in here in my pajamas. Like, I'm speaking real because I had to let it off my chest that, domestic violence is not accepted, and it should not be accepted, and you should be a bigger person. And once you recognize that it's not, safe, don't make excuses for it and get out as soon as you can, as soon as possible, because it doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any easier. And for me, it's not over because I still have court that I gotta go through. Like every time I hear like a motorcycle, or even like, it's just like, even when people talk about it, it's just like a, a breath of like anxiety. It's not even a fresh air. I understand he's locked up, but you should never allow yourself for 1 second to feel like you're less than anything other than who you set out to be. And if they can't accept you for who you are, then they don't deserve you at all. And that's just that. And at the end of the day, I just hope he gets what he gets, and I hope it's years, because not just for me, but for the next person, or the person after that, or even his children. Like, you gotta take all this into, consideration. I don't have no hard feelings towards his wife. I don't have no hard feelings towards nobody but him. And the only hard feelings I have towards him is for him to sit behind bars and get some type of rehabilitation and think about what he's done, or what he was going to do, and how it wasn't worth it. It really isn't. And I'm not saying I didn't put my hands on him back, but it was all out of defense. He chipped my tooth. He put holes in my wall. Broke my front door, broke my windows. Like, little stuff like that leads up to bigger things. Him choking me. Him thinking it's okay to call me out my name. Like, I got called stupid so many times. In the same breath, he would say, "Oh, you're intelligent and you're this." No. It's not okay. Okay, the first sign of abuse, ladies, gentlemen, it goes both ways. Get out. You don't deserve it. I don't care what upbringing, what color, what background, whatever. It's not right. Nobody has the right to take you out of your element or your comfort zone and put their hands on you and make you feel like you're less than nothing. And by the grace of God, I had neighbors that moved in next door that broke my silence. And I thank her every day. I'm thankful for my neighbors upstairs who kept an eye out on me. And I'm blessed, more than blessed, to have a best friend that I have. And I just wanted to just say thank you guys for listening. And I hope that, if anything, I could put some type of, hope in somebody. If you're going through it, call the hotline. Don't take no chances. When you see that first chance to run, leave. If you think it's time for you to go, go. And this is not just for people that are going through it. This is for people that feel like they're, being a part of it, or maybe even, being the violent one. That's not the answer, because I've been on the sides of both, where I was the abuser and I was the abusee. And I just think that you guys have to just think bigger than that. And this is just my story, and I'm hoping that it could help somebody, the next person. You guys have a good night.